And a
Oh, God.
1 and a 2. Welcome to We the Podcast. That's right, We the Podcast. Weekum. Weasel Wuzzle? That comedy these days?
Is that what passes for comedy these days? Wuzzle?
We're marching on in the Connect-a-thon, which is 2025. We watched.
I just gotta say, I love this format. I've been loving
fun.
It's fun.
I watched a ton of movies I think I would not have watched otherwise.
Yeah, it's great.
I think it's probably a ton of movies that we as a podcast would have not paid any attention to. Not paid attention to, but not given a shot.
Yeah, of course. No, I'm loving the format.
No, it's a blast. This week we watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the Christy Johnson.
Christy Johnson?
No, Christy Swanson. Christy Swanson, excuse me. And I can't think of his real name. I'm just going to call him Corey from The Simpsons.
Luke Perry. Jesus Christ. Are you all right? Did you have a stroke?
No, I just don't remember people's names.
I do not remember Luke Perry. I feel like he was a very popular actor when we were young.
He was very popular, but I didn't watch Beverly Hills 90210.
Sideshow Luke Perry.
Sideshow, that's true.
He was Krusty. He was Krusty's like stepbrother or something.
Yeah, Sideshow Luke.
Yeah, didn't he drive through like a ring of fire or something? He did something very dangerous, did he not? Like
he did like a cannonball or no? Krusty he had like a vision of like shooting him into a wall, and then his face is all fucked up.
Mm. Well, the Connect-a-thon here was Thomas Jane.
Yeah, who's in it for like half a second.
Yeah, I didn't
even
catch him on the screen. So
he runs the mechanic shop that Luke Perry works at.
Benjamin Affleck also in the movie.
Yeah, a lot of people in this movie for half a second. He plays the basketball player that gives the vampire the ball when the vampire plays basketball.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Stephen Root shows up for a little bit in this movie.
Fun fact, the Ben Affleck...
Lake.
Oh, that is Ricky Lake. Yeah, she was like a waitress
she's a waitress like in a diner. Or the bartender.
Yeah.
The vampire basketball player shared the screen with Ben Affleck in, I couldn't figure out where to place him. I had to look him up. He was from Dazed and Confused.
Oh,
he was one of the seniors running around paddling people with Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
I thought he looked like Buster Poindexter's son.
He does look like Buster Poindexter.
That you, Santa Claus. But yeah, I've never seen this movie before.
Me neither.
It is something else.
I enjoyed it.
It's way sillier than I expected it to be.
It was nice to see something fucking stupid though. Like you know what I mean? Like it doesn't have any air about like itself. Like it understands that it's dumb as shit, and it's just like it just leans into it. I had a lot of fun with it.
But it was almost like Hot Shots level silly.
Joss Whedon wrote it, and then he got pissed off because they had somebody. Well, he got mad. He got pissed off because they had somebody rewrite it and make it like more of a comedy. Because he wrote like a more serious movie, so he got mad and didn't want his name on anything. Yeah, but the show is funny too. So like, I didn't understand. Like,
but the show doesn't have this. The show doesn't have this kind of tone, right? I've never seen it. So.
No, it's not goofy like this, but it's very funny.
Also,
it's like a higher like.
Sorry. I was going to let you finish. Sorry. No, is this canon to the show, or is this like completely, like, do they ever reference the movie in the show, or is it completely outside of it?
So in the show, see, that's one of the things that Joss Whedon, didn't agree with. So in the show, they reference pretty much like the final battle happening. But in the show, they say she locked all the vampires in the gym and burned it down to kill them all.
That's cool. That's a pretty.
But they thought that was too graphic for the movie, so they had this silly ending.
I mean, that's dark.
Like they did, and he got mad. And that was one of his sticking points that he was upset about.
But the rest of the movie is like super goofy. Like that ending doesn't make any sense.
There's a comic. Well, it was part of his whole script. Like it was the whole script was not as goofy and like it was darker. But he wrote a comic called Buffy the Origin, which basically is basically his version of this movie. and it's what he wrote put in a comic book form. I've never read it, but I've heard good things.
As our foremost Buffy the Vampire Slayer aficionado, did you watch the show because of an affection for the movie, or did you just start watching the show prior to?
I had seen the movie. I don't think it was an affection from the movie, though. Like, I remember liking the movie as a kid, but I didn't get all psyched up because there was a Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV show coming out when I was a junior in high school.
Yeah.
But later on, I saw, like, it was one of those things where I saw, like, some random episodes back before streaming stuff. You just watched what was on. Like, if that was on TV, that's what you were watching that night. And I saw some, I was like, this is, it's not bad. And then I started watching. Then I started watching all of it, and
But other than Buffy, did any other characters, like, because I don't know anything about the show, but I know there was someone named Spike, but Luke Perry's character's name is Pike.
Pike.
No,
and then there was
it's not a name. It's not a name. That's
Angel,
a fish.
Right?
Yeah, there's nobody else from the movie is in the
Meadow.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody else from the movie is in the show. That's only Buffy. And I guess technically her mom, but it's a different character and it's written way differently.
Her mom, who's a real piece of work.
Yeah, in the show, her mom is like a loving single mother. I think they say their dad left them after she burned the high school down because like nobody believed it was vampires. They thought she was just a fucking firebug lunatic.
Love that.
So the dad left her and the mom is like a doting single working mom who's like trying to take care of her crazy daughter who's the Slayer.
Sounds like a situation for a Mr. Belvedere to show up.
Hell yeah. But he's a vampire.
Ooh.
It's good. Good.
Yeah.
Mr. Belvedere.
Wesley.
All right. What did you all watch this week? We'll get into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Give me a lot to talk about. I don't know. It's a fun movie. There's a lot of great little stupid jokes in the movie that, again, my 6-year-old brain very, very much loves. All that Valley Girl crap. I love that stuff. Also,
as if.
Something that you may not know about me, I am a sucker for high school drama. I don't know why. I always like it. It's just one of my sweet spots, especially in video games specifically. Like,
you're a Persona fan.
Oh, I'm a die-hard Persona fan. Sean is too. He's not on, but I love, and it's a big trope in anime. There's always like high school shit, but I love it. I always feel like it's a great jumping off point. Like Battle Royale. It's one of my favorite movies. Essentially a high school drama movie, if you think about it. But yeah, I was really
high school drama. We glazed over Hilary Swank.
Also, is it a hot take? She's very attractive. Do people not find her attractive? I don't know. I thought she looked super cute in this movie.
She was very cute. Until we never realized who she was.
What's that?
There's a whole episode of The Office dedicated to is she hot or not?
I don't remember that. She was in I Am Mother, right? Wasn't that her?
She was
the robot movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she was. I was thinking Rose, what's her name, was the voice of the robot.
That's a movie. That's one of those Netflix movies that no one's going to remember, but man, it was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Apostle.
Oh, dude, Apostle. Like, I recommend that movie all the fucking time. That movie's so fucking good. But, anyway, we'll get into it. I just would say that I went into Buffy expecting to hate it. Cause I remember this is one of those movies, this is like right along with like Monkey Bone, with a movie they didn't know how to promote. And go back and watch the trailer for Buffy and it's really bad. It makes this movie look so stupid. And I mean, it is stupid, but like, it's fun stupid, you know? So I was really expecting to hate this movie and I was like, this is fun. I liked it. Also, like right under an hour and a half. So it's like perfect.
Yeah.
You're just like in and out. Boom. All right. What'd y'all watch this week? Alec, what Amish person is stalking her fiance and then her therapist? And
I haven't watched any of those in a while. I kind of got off of that trend. The only thing I watched.
I don't even know you anymore.
The only thing I watched this week that I can remember is Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's a lot of fun.
Great soundtrack.
It's right in that period where there's a lot of jokes that are very offensive now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But outside of those jokes, it's a really fun movie. Like John Cusack playing like against type. I'm not a huge Rob Corddry fan, but I like him in this. Not a huge Clark Dukes fan, but he's pretty good in this. I forgot Sebastian Stan is in this movie.
He is?
He's like the ski patrol guy.
Oh, no shit. Yeah, I probably didn't know who Sebastian Stan was when I watched that.
Yeah, he wasn't in the Marvels yet. But yeah, that movie's a lot of fun. The sequel is not nearly as good.
The sequel's not very good, but the first one's a lot of fun. Isn't it like Rob Corddry like makes time so he's like part of Motley Crue or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Motley Lou, I believe.
He also founds Google and calls it Lugal.
Yeah.
He's the biggest rock star in the world and also starts the biggest tech company in the world.
Hilarious. Anything else?
But no, that's all I watched. Gogs.
Short episode because I think the only thing Gogs watched is Tabled, right?
Incorrect.
Oh, okay, good.
I watched 3 things, but 2 of them we can just blaze right through.
You watched Predator.
No.
You watched Aliens.
No. I did watch Total Recall.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
You ever read the book?
I have not. I've been wanting to just because I'm curious like how different it is than the Arnold vehicle.
It's very different, but in a weird way. I wish Sean was here because he's a big dickhead. That's what we call ourselves, or Philip. It's weird because the book is like completely different, but like in a weird way, the movie does a good job at like approximating like Philip K. Dick's kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I always think is hilarious is that like, and we've joked about this before about Arnold, and we all love Arnold, but like he's so miscast in that movie. Like he's supposed to just be this like regular Joe, and he's this fucking meat mountain like
the scene where they're just jackhammering away at a construction site, like for no reason with that one guy who could be like any mobster in any movie ever. Yeah. And it's just like, this is his job, and he's got this apartment with Sharon Stone, who's taking virtual tennis lessons. Yeah. And she's great in that movie, by the way. Good. Like, I feel like her performance is, like, criminally underrated. She's really fucking great in that movie.
Did you ever see, I'm sure you have, but did you ever see the DVD commentary with Arnold? And he's like, here I am, and I'm doing my work. And, like, it's like Arnold doesn't understand that it's a movie, and it's not really him. It's very fun. If you can find the clips, it's hilarious. Like, he's just describing every scene, like, literally without giving any kind of insight on, like, the making of it. He's just like, here I am.
Here we go.
I'm using the jackhammer, and, like, and again, I love Arnold so much, like, fucking gem of a person, but.
This is where I tear off Richter's arms.
It's so funny. You gotta look up the fucking DVD commentary on it. It's hysterical. I remember, like, I mean, we all were part of this trend, but like, remember back in like the old days with DVDs, and DVD commentary was like a big deal. And, it's one of the things we've kind of lost nowadays, but I used to have so much fun watching movies that I've seen 50 times, but then watching it with the commentary, cause some of them were just so great. Like, I think it was Mallrats with like Ben Affleck. He ends up getting like in an argument with Kevin Smith during it, and like, oh, it's brilliant. Ben
Affleck. Have you ever seen the Ben Affleck or seen clips of the Ben Affleck Armageddon?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Going to bring up.
Fucking hilarious.
He's like, I went to Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, I said, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to drill instead of oil drillers to be an astronaut? Michael Bay said, shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
So that was that.
Michael Bay was right. That's a movie that I'm shocked we've never done on the show.
We could get there. We could get there next week. We could Ben Affleck our way into it.
Whose pick is it? Because I do have a pick.
It is Sean's, but he's not here, so it is yours.
Oh, cool. All right, I have a good one. So.
Okay.
All right.
I watched Total Recall. Ton of fun. Love that movie.
Total Recall's great.
It's just silly as hell. I mean, conceptually, it's silly as hell.
Visual effects in that movie too.
Tremendous. Like, it's funny. Like, not just great visual effects, but great set pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was looking up like where they shot that movie. Not Mars.
Not Mars.
But like like one of the, like, I don't know what it was about this viewing of it. It stuck out to me. Like when he walks into the recall office, it's like really well framed and it's shot like the way that it enters. There's like a shadow that creates this triangle. It's really cool looking. It's a very like
Paul Verhoeven,
brutalist building.
Very talented. It's a super good director.
But it's like some like professional office or union building in Mexico City or something. So that's where they filmed it. The other thing I watched was another Schwarzenegger vehicle. I got on a little tangent. I watched The Running Man, another Schwarzenegger movie based on a book.
That might be my favorite. Like honestly,
it's not gonna beat out fucking True Lies for me, but that movie. You talk about a silly movie. That movie is full of puns. Like there's just bad joke after bad joke, and it's like, and Arnold's delivering like the worst joke. Like they're the worst dad level jokes.
Yeah, like the Sub-Zero, and he's like now
just regular zero.
You got fucking Jesse the Body in the movie. And he's so good. And you got what's his name? Family Feud guy, Richard Dawkins.
So
two
things. One, the guy who plays Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
First of all, they announce him as Professor Sub-Zero. But that actor, who is also Lawrence's like butler in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh no shit.
Is actually a professor. Like his name is like Professor like something Japanese.
That's awesome.
Second thing. I texted Sean because I think I text this every time I watch Running Man maybe once a year.
I love that movie.
So
didn't I get you the call sign shirt? I think I
believe you. Oh yeah, like the ICS, the ICS shirt, yeah. So I think I text him every year. I'm like, fucking Richard Dawson is just destroying it in this movie. And I have a hot take, and maybe it's not that hot a take.
Go ahead.
Richard Dawson in The Running Man is the best Arnold villain in any Arnold movie.
He's very good. Yeah. He's very good. I'd have a hard time disagreeing with that.
Like, you could say from a power level, the T-1000 is going to beat him. The Predator will beat Richard Dawson in a street fight. But from a just, like, bad guy, just like Albert Brooks in Drive, just chewing the scenery, full of charisma, just an aura factory, with all the power and all the malice, like he is the best Arnold villain.
Yeah, he's so good in that movie. Also, that movie is wildly different than the book.
Yeah, and so the one that's gonna come out.
Yeah, Edgar Wright's got a remake coming out this year.
But that's gonna be like the book, right?
The book, yeah. And I don't know. And I really, if they stick to the ending of the book, hats off to them. Because there's no way they're going to.
I mean,
spoilers for the book. It literally, he does 9/11 at the end of the book. But the book is more like, it's more like Series 7 than
you turn them loose.
Movie. Like they let all the contestants go run out, and then you have like these stalker cameras everywhere, and they like try to find.
But don't you have to like check in via videotape every once in a while?
Yeah, it's a cool ass story. It's kind of short. It's a Richard Bachman, Stephen King story, but it's really good. And I'm against remakes, and honestly, Edgar Wright's kind of fallen off like a lot for me, but I'll still watch it. I don't know.
I mean, I'll see it. Who's leading? Is it Baby Goose?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the cast or anything. I just know it's coming out.
I think I forget who, I think the lead actor was.
If it's Ryan Gosling, then yeah.
I think it was. I want to say. No, it's that guy who's everywhere.
That guy from Top Gun?
Yeah.
How did I know that's who you were talking about? I don't really care for that guy.
Glenn Campbell? Glenn something.
Glenn something,
Powell.
Yeah. Powell. Glenn Powell, that's it. Thanks, Ed.
Yeah. He will be the titular Running Man.
I mean, you could make a good movie because it's so much different. Like, they changed so much. Like, you can make it's a remake in name only because it's more like true to the source material. You're also getting the Long Walk movie this year, so it's a big year for Richard Bachman stories. Long Walk, a good book. I really like that book. Looking forward to the movie.
Shout out to Richard Bachman.
And Mark Hamill is the villain in that, which is weird. The guy from what was that last Alien movie that I didn't like? But I thought he was good. The guy that played the autistic robot. He's in it. Yeah, it could be good. I really like this.
Robin Williams.
Hey, I'm 200 years old. What is that? That's Rodney Dangerfield.
That's Rodney Dangerfield.
I got no respect at all.
He like tightens the bolts on his neck.
Oh.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, Richard Bachman, the Chris Gaines to Stephen King's.
Don't ever read any of the republished Richard Bachman, because there's like this foreword from Stephen King where he talks about how like Richard Bachman's like a real person, and like it's like very annoying. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, miss me with that.
I do like the Bachman stories though overall.
The Bachman stories are typically tighter.
They're real good.
Darker.
Yeah, they're real good, and they always have like fucked up endings.
Green Mile, right?
Miles Bachman.
The Mist.
The Mist is Bachman.
Running Man.
Running Man, the longest, the long walk. That's all Bachman.
Well,
very good stuff.
He doesn't have like Deus Ex Machina happening at the end of his stories. It sounds like.
And apparently, the Dark Half. You've probably seen the movie. I don't know if you ever read the book, but the Dark Half is about this like writer that has like an alter ego that like takes over his life. That was like him talking about Richard Bachman. It's like, okay, yeah, I know
that movie sucks. Or that movie
sucks. I've never read the book. The movie is ass. But, yeah.
And the last thing I watched is what TJ also watched in separate viewings. So TJ, do you have anything else before we get to 28 weeks later?
No, I didn't.
Years later?
I didn't really watch anything. I watched, me and Gogs both watched 28 Years Later. I'm very conflicted about it. I've been thinking about it since I left the theater. Because I left the theater and I was very negative on it. Like, I was like, I think that the first half of that movie is really, really, really strong. And I feel the last, like, third of the movie is super weak. And then one thing I'm very irritated by, and I'm just tired of this in movies, is that this is a part one, and nowhere in the marketing, nowhere in the movie itself does it tell you it's a part one.
Danny Boyle says it's a trilogy.
Yeah, they got 2 more coming out. But like, here's the thing. That's fine, but prepare me for that. And then when the credits roll, they don't even say, like, to be continued in the Bone Temple or whatever. So I, like, literally go to my car and, like, Google it. I'm like, oh, they have another one coming out in January. But, like, can we stop with this?
So it's already shot.
It's done. They filmed it at the same time. I think they filmed both of them at the same time. Or the third one, too. But, like, here's the thing. I was really down on the ending of this movie, but I understand it a little better after thinking about it. So, like, the movie starts with a prologue, right? It starts with this character, Jimmy. You see it in the trailer, these little kids that are around when the Rage,
the 28 weeks later timeline.
It starts then.
Days later, 28 days.
Right, and then this little kid, like, goes to this church where his dad's a father, and his dad's, like, this religious fanatic and thinks that the Rage virus is, like, an act of God and blah, 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 blah. And then he hides. And that is kind of like a cold open that really doesn't have anything to do with the main part of the movie. So it bookends, right? Because the very end of the movie continues the Jimmy storyline. But so really the end of the movie isn't the end. It's just the bookend of the film. And really the end of the movie is about 10 minutes before that. But I just feel like it's very jarring. And I don't like it, and it really leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
The movie gave me, 2 things. The one, I was expecting Aaron Taylor Johnson's character to be
Jimmy,
the kid in the beginning, right? I kept waiting for that gold cross to show up.
Sure.
But then, I don't know if they said his name in the beginning, when he was running away out.
They said Jimmy.
Did they say Jimmy? Okay, I didn't pick up on that. Also, their accents, I don't know if it was just a mix in the theater I was in.
Tough. No.
Some of the stuff I couldn't fucking understand.
It was tough. Yeah, it was very tough.
Where was I going with this? Jimmy thing. Oh, I had 2 things. Now it's gone. I thought Aaron Taylor Johnson was going to be that character. Here's what it is. The ending of it, the real ending of the movie gave me like Doomsday vibes.
Yes,
like tonally, I don't remember 28 Weeks Later at all. I remember 28 Days Later pretty well. This movie tonally and like visually and like stylistically is very, very different than what I expected. And like when I left the theater, I wasn't angry, but I was confused. It was like if my expectations had been subverted, I was like, that is nothing like what I anticipated this movie to be like. And I was like, but I left interested. I left like, I want to know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Like that the world that they laid before us, if episode 1 is world building, the world they built is interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I agree. Cool. I agree it's interesting. And I hate Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm not a fan of him. It's been on the show many, many times. He's really good in this movie. And I think the movie kind of falls apart when he's not really a part of the plot anymore.
He's great. He's great in this movie.
But he's like
interesting in this movie.
The thing is, like, the first hour, I'm so into this movie. It's great. And then, like, I don't know, I just feel like the kid's got a sick mom and they don't know what's wrong with her. And then I feel like the movie kind of falls apart when it's about the kid trying to save his sick mom. And it's one of those frustrating things where it's like, I've seen a bunch of people talk about, well, you know, the understanding the themes of the movie. And it's like, no, I get the themes. I just don't think it works. Like, I think
I think it's interesting that you've got this kid, right? And it's like, I have to keep doing this when I watch Severance. I'm like, this kid doesn't know anything about how things were, right?
Sure. You get that.
He's never had a doctor, right?
Sure.
So in his mind, a doctor is almost mythical, like they can cure and save you from anything. Right?
I understand that part too. Also, I think even in the parlance of the film, I think he understands that it's like a long shot, but he's doing anything he can to help his mom.
Right. And Ralph Fiennes is killing it in this movie.
Yeah. Again, though, didn't you feel like that whole thing it just felt like
it was fucking weird,
but it just felt like undercooked. Like I felt like, and it kind of ended too fast. Like that part of the movie, like they find Ralph Fiennes and he's kind of like a Colonel Kurtz. Like he's kind of off the reservation or whatever.
But he's like a benevolent Colonel Kurtz.
Yeah, he's not evil. You think he's evil, but he's not. But like, I don't know, that part, they find him, and then they make their decision about the mom, and then the movie's kind of over. And it's
they speed run her hospice care. Like, that is like...
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like the movie needed like another 20 minutes or something. Like, it felt like the first half of the movie goes by so fast that the other, like, the last part of the movie just feels so weird and, like, it needs to slow down a little, and it doesn't, because then it's over. And it's like, I don't know. Again, I didn't hate it, but I feel conflicted about it. And I think I absolutely hate the fact that it's a part 1. I
think my opinion for the whole will be made on the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once the trilogy is complete, I will know if this first one if this juice was worth the squeeze. Because
I agree.
I left wanting more, so good job.
Yeah, and like, I don't know how familiar you are with, do you know who Jimmy Savile is?
I looked him up afterwards because that's apparently what all the Jimmys look like.
The way that they dress up, that's Jimmy Savile. And Jimmy Savile was like a huge, like, I don't know what he would be compared to in the United States, but he was like a huge media figure in England, like to the point where he was like Margaret Thatcher's buddy. And,
was he also like a crime boss or something?
I was just about to get into that. Yeah. She wanted to knight him like several times. And I think people in Parliament were like, knew what was going on. And they were like, no. And she finally did. But he was like he was like a prolific sex offender. The episode of, Rick and Morty where they go to like King Gumdrop or whatever. And like, he's like, that's like, I don't know if that's directly a Jimmy Savile, like that's they're paralleling, but that's what he was. Like, he was like this widely famous person and he worked with kids and he had access to kids and, you know, connect the dots the way you will. But he did so many like horrific crimes. And unfortunately, like it happens so often with this kind of shit, all this stuff didn't really come to light until after he was dead. but like he was like a horrendously horrible person. So if you're British and you see this cult of Jimmy Savile, basically, like when that kid's like, hey, when he's like, we should be friends with that kid, everybody's like, oh fuck, like that.
Oh, so it's like a real dog whistle to people who knew.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that is interesting. Again, it's interesting. Just tell me it's a part one. Tell me I'm not getting a real ending. I'm sorry. It just really bugs me. I just think about classic movies, right? And even like movies that have, like, A New Hope has an ending. Empire Strikes Back has a fucking ending. You know what I mean? Like, it continued a storyline, but it has a fucking ending, and this movie just kind of doesn't have an ending.
I think I sent you this. Maybe I didn't. But like, these guys were talking about the movie, and they're like, it would have been better if the Jimmy thing was a stinger after the credits.
I kind of agree with you there, because it does break it up from the film itself. And that kind of goes against everything I've said about Marvel movies, but also, like, it's not quite the same. Again, just call this 28 Years Later Part 1 or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, just tell me, or again, even if, like, when it goes to credits, if it said to be continued in 28 Years Later, The Boneyard, I would have felt better about it.
Was there any, like, was this a secret? Or no. Are there interviews that were, like, if I had read any interviews prior to going to the movie, would I have known that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland intended this to be a trilogy?
Well, they announced these other sequels, but, like, okay. No, like, if you're not, like, up to date on fucking movie news, which somebody on fucking TikTok was like, well, you just need to read more news. It's like, I shouldn't have to read the fucking movie news.
Shouldn't have to read, period.
Every fucking movie. Like, I should just be able to go watch the goddamn movie. But again, like, I'm with you, though. I think that the sequel's going to have to be really good, because if it's bad, it's going to make this one just, you're never going to watch it again. But if it works, then maybe it'll work. I don't know. Again, I'm very conflicted about this film. It's like this one and Sinners, to me, I felt very conflicted, because I liked a lot of it, but I didn't love it, and I was left kind of feeling kind of indifferent at the end.
Yeah, the next two movies are going to carry the water for this first one.
Yeah, I agree. And Garland wrote the two sequels. Danny Boyle's not directing the sequels, but...
Really?
No. He only directed this one. And I also, like, you talked about it a little bit, about how this movie was directed. I really hated his, like, cross-cutting the stock footage all the time in the beginning of the movie. I thought that was
stupid as hell. I didn't understand, like,
it was
the
so
Firefly,
bad.
Like, the fire circle thing at the Bone Zone.
It was
like, there was too much artsy fartsy in some of these things.
Well, also, like, but it's artsy fartsy for no reason. Like, it doesn't add anything to the fucking story.
I get you're using archery, and I get that Britain has been using archery forever.
Right.
You invented the longbow.
It's tying into the history of England, but it's like, it's not interesting, and I don't care. But I will say, the movie, I saw pictures before I saw the movie, so they basically used a lot of, like, iPhones and shit, because there's a lot of, like, when they, like, kill the zombies, there's a lot of these really cool, like, sweeping 360 kind of pans that they do. That was all done with this, like, really crazy camera rig that they set up, where basically they had, like, this metal, like, this half crescent metal rig that had, like, 65 phones on it, and that's how they, like, turned around, like, you know what I'm talking about, when they shot arrows through their heads? And it was kind of like they ramped it up. That's how they did that. Which they almost
had like a Wachowski-esque, like.
Yeah, it was but it was neat. Like, it looked cool. But I don't like. Again, I didn't like his use of, like, editing specifically in the beginning, because it calms down after that. Which also made it more jarring, because it was just like, why'd you put that in the beginning and then just completely abandon it? Like, if you're gonna go for it, like, stick through the whole movie.
Yeah. No.
But anyway, that's all I watched.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying, time will tell.
Have to wait till January, if we're still here.
Yeah, if we're still here. I had another thought, but it has escaped me. My brain is fried. So, should we talk about
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Kristy Swanson, I forgot how hot she was. Good night. What a good looking woman that is.
She is.
Yeah. And what was that? I always watch that. What's that movie? The Getaway. There's one movie I used to watch.
Charlie Sheen. Her and Charlie Sheen.
Yeah. I like that movie a lot.
And then she didn't all the advertisements like show her like sliding down like a laundry chute or something like. You know.
And I want to say that Flea and Anthony Kiedis are in that movie too. And I think Henry Rollins is in that movie.
Driving a monster truck, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. I remember loving that movie. But yeah.
Well, so Buffy Summers so I'd never seen this before.
So even just Summers, something I read that I didn't notice until after the movie. Nobody in the movie, they don't give anybody a last name.
Except for
Buffy. So Buffy Summers is just from the show.
Oh, interesting.
God just knows that.
No, I was looking up notes to remind me about stuff. It's just listed in her credits as Buffy Summers. So she is doing her Valley Girl high school thing. She is very popular. They're planning for a dance. Her and her various clueless adjacent ladies are hanging out. And then meanwhile, there's like sort of a cross cut with like the story of the Slayer. Like,
yeah, it opens with like, some like medieval times, like, woman talking to like a king or something. And they're talking about a Slayer.
Yeah, there's always a badass lady here to keep the vampires in check. And in this instance, it's her. And Donald Sutherland's gonna make sure that that's who she becomes.
He's great in this movie.
Donald Sutherland is.
He's awesome because like everyone else is like up ramped to 15, like they're being goofy as hell and silly, and the Valley Girl like quips are wonderful. But Donald Sutherland is playing this super just straight. Like
he's Michael Caine in A Muppets Christmas Carol. Yeah, he's just very.
He's great. He's really good in this.
So he comes up to her. He's like, hey, lady, you need to be the Slayer. Cause she's like she has dreams about like being like a badass or about these badass ladies. And she's like,
and I think before Donald Sutherland shows up, there's like a murder. And the news report says that he died from a massive blood loss to the neck, which was described as a really gross hickey, which is a very funny line, like a very good line.
Yeah. She's like flirting, like she's sort of jock adjacent. She's a popular girl. And then off to the side, you've got like, they're sort of the I don't know how you can make Luke Perry sort of the scuzzy loser kid, because it doesn't really track because he's too handsome.
Him and David Arquette. Also,
him and David Arquette.
They do something.
David Arquette can do it.
Spoiler alerts. David Arquette, it turns into a vampire. But they do this thing I thought was fucking hilarious. So he has like a gold tooth. But then when he turns into a vampire, he has a gold fang. I was like, I don't think that would really work, but it's very funny. Like, I don't know why that like caught me. I was like, it's funny. Like, that's a very cute little addition there. But yeah, they're like super poor. They're just poor high school kids.
But but David Arquette gets got like pretty rapidly in the movie, like
almost right away. Yeah,
right. Yeah. And I think I forget. I don't think. So there's like a coven of vampires already stalking the town. Right, so she's like...
Paul Rubens is one of them.
Paul Rubens, and he's great in this movie, too.
Paul Rubens is really good in this. And then Rutger Hauer is like the Dracula.
Rutger Hauer he is so against type in this movie.
But Rutger Hauer is having a blast.
He's having a good time.
He's so silly in this movie. At one point, he's playing like a fucking violin, just because, like, it's amazing.
Yeah. So Donald Sutherland's like, all right, I'm gonna teach you to be a badass. She's like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like, all right, come out to the graveyard, I guess that's right next door to the high school. And and then she I watched this a couple days ago, so I'm trying to remember all the parts and pieces. But then she like murders the shit out of everybody, kind of like instinctually. And then that's all the Donald
Sutherland like tests her. by throwing a knife at her face that she catches.
Yeah, she Jack Burton's it. She's like, well, only the Slayer could have done that. And he's like,
you threw a knife at my face.
He's like, you have the mark of the Slayer. And she's like, ew, that ugly birthmark, I had that removed. And there's like a half second where he just looks horrified.
Yeah, that was very funny.
So anyway, so she's got, all the super senses and speeds, and she's like, well, this is fun. So then you got Rutger Hauer, and you've got Pee Wee Herman. And fucking David Arquette gets eaten or bit, and he's turned lickety split, and then he's trying to get in. They're playing by the rules quite a bit. There's a lot of, you got to invite me in, you got to you got to follow the traditional, some of the traditional vampire rules.
One of my favorite jokes in this movie is when at the very end, I'm jumping ahead, but when the vampires are assaulting the high school dance, Buffy's like, oh, don't worry, you got to invite him to let him in. And then Hilary Swank's like, oh, I invited him in. And she's like, why? She's like, they're seniors.
They're seniors. She's like part of the, a lot of comedic things happen to her.
This movie like legitimately had me laughing a lot. Like, I don't know, it's very silly and it's very like Animaniacs humor, but it worked on me. I don't know, it got me going.
Yeah, there's a basketball coach, like I guess Buffy's crushes on the basketball team, and the coach is like the most PC person.
Bro, the basketball coach wearing a full suit to a high school basketball game. Also, at one point, he shows them like the fucking formation for the play, and it's just a triangle with an eye in it with a bunch of arrows. Like, what the fuck?
He's like, express yourself, establish your personhood. Like he's like just giving them affirmations. He's not really coaching them. It's very weird.
Yeah, one of the plays that he shows at one point is a football play. Like everybody's lined up in like football formations. It has like an offensive line, defensive line.
No,
I love that.
It's like the movie's like, it's like airplane level jokes. Like they're like goofy fucking jokes. Like little one-offs. But anyway. Fucking David Arquette becomes a vampire, tries to get Luke Perry to become a vampire. It's like, no, fuck that noise. One of their classmates gets abducted by Pee Wee Herman and gets sacrificed. And so there's murders happening around the school, but the dance is still going to happen. So, we got to keep this thing going on. Fucking Luke Perry's like, all right, I'm out of here. He's donezo. He runs into like all of the vampires, if memory serves, and then he gets saved by Buffy and Donald Sutherland, and fucking Pee Wee Herman loses his arm,
which doesn't grow back the whole movie.
Yeah, which I expected it to, kind of like following Blade rules, and
it's so funny. It's just like he just doesn't have an arm for most of the movie.
See the line, he's like, we're vampires, we can do anything we want. She's like, clap. And it's like, so anyway, so now, fucking, Luke Perry's like, all right, I'm gonna stick with you, lady. And she's like, all right, well, whatever. Maybe we'll kiss later. And so now they go to a basketball game, and it sort of turns into Teen Wolf for half a second.
For half a second, yeah.
Because the vampire kid on whatever I forget what their school's name is, their team, he's playing like against
the pigs or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, they have like Piggly Wiggly stuff all over the place. So he's just dominating, and everybody's like, I guess he's not sharing the ball today. And like Ben Affleck wants none of the smoke, and they just give the guy the ball and do whatever. And then Buffy's like, wait a minute, that guy's a vampire. Oh, because like she has spidey sense for vampires that like presents as PMS. Is that like that what they were saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that canon to the show as well?
No, okay. That is not.
So she's like, oh shit, I know that guy and he knows me. I'm going to track him down. So she interrupts the basketball game, and then everybody thinks she's a spaz.
Yeah, remember that word?
Yeah.
We don't use that one anymore.
So she's trying to stalk him down and slay him, and she ends up at like an old abandoned amusement park, where the vampires have like started their coven, and she goes to meet up with or introduce herself to, I think his name is Lothos, fucking Rutger Hauer's character.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, well, this ain't gonna work out, so let's just get it over with. And he's gonna like fucking jam her with his teeth.
Yeah, and he glamours her or something because she's like in like a trance.
Yeah, he's doing the classic Dracula eye stare move. This movie follows vampire rules better than Twilight. I'll say that much. And then all of a sudden Merrick pops out, but they parlay for a minute. He's like, she's not ready.
Merrick is Donald. Donald Sutherland.
So they kind of have like some weird understanding of terms, and for half a second I thought Merrick was a bad guy. I was like, is he luring her to this? Like, what's the setup here?
Well, he was like buying her time because he said because Lortho it was gonna kill her, and then he somehow convinces him not to kill her, and then he just leaves because he says something about it's not time yet or something.
Yeah. But then he tries to stab Rutger Hauer, but Rutger Hauer flips the script on him and stabs him with his stake. And then he's like, listen, Buffy, fucking don't play by the rules, do your own thing, girl. And she's like, bet. And then they're like, well, I guess it's time to go to the dance. So they go to the mall and she buys herself a slaying dress. And, first she goes to see her friends. She's like, listen, there's some shit going down. And there's like an old man, and then there's this pipe. She's like, and all her friends are like, ew, gross. Like, you're not cool anymore. And she's like, oh, hurtful. And then she goes, buys a dress, goes to not prom, I guess. Is it prom? I'm not 100% certain.
It is not prom because they say this is the last dance of the year. And then she's like, well, what about the semi-formal and this other dance in prom?
Yeah. Right.
It's just another high school dance.
Classic high school girls. Oh, and then, so Stephen Root, the principal, he'll show up in a minute, trying to give everyone's attention once the vampires attack, not prom. Fucking Rutger Hauer's like, I'm going to go. They're like, we should go kill her. He's like, no, let's just wait till Friday, till her dance, and then we'll show up at her dance and run amok. And that's what they do. And all the vampires attack, and kids are getting, eaten. Like, shit's happening. She fights, she's getting ready to fight, hold on. Luke Perry. Is this when he gave her a whole bunch of steaks? Like, he was prepared for this?
Luke Perry, after learning about the vampires, he becomes like a steak maker.
Yeah.
There's a scene of him, in his little apartment, whittling down, snow shovels and any piece of wood that he can get his hands on.
So he hands her a bundle of steaks. She puts it in her clutch, and then she goes to start kicking vampire ass. And she goes out in the parking lot, beats up a bunch of vampires, fights her way into a boiler room stairwell, fights Pee Wee Herman, stabs him in the chest. He has the funniest death scene of all time.
Yeah.
And then she's fighting Rutger Hauer. She fucking zaps him with a hairspray flamethrower, gets away, gets back to the dance. He shows up with a full-on samurai sword. They get into, he tries to wait, no. He tried to hypnotize her again. That's how she broke it, was with the flamethrower. Then the samurai sword. She fights him in the dance, kills him. The gym is done. Everything's fine, I guess. And then her and Pike fucking leave on a motorcycle, and that's the movie. But during the dance, there's one scene where Hilary Swank. It was almost like that scene in Airplane where they're everyone's lining up to slap the hysterical girl. She's screaming about something, and she gets knocked out or
Stephen Root is tired of hearing her, so he just slams her into the bleachers or something, so she gets a concussion.
Yeah, she gets cross-eyed, sits on her butt. The movie is
it's so
weirdly silly.
When you mentioned the Paul Rubens death, it's so funny because he gets stabbed with a stake, but he kind of looks at it. He's like, oh, and then he's like,
he falls down, and he pops back up, and he's like,
Paul Rubens, R.I.P. to a legend. That guy was a treat.
He's not dead.
I thought he died.
No, I think he has a new movie getting ready to come out.
I know there's a documentary about him coming out.
Yeah, that he was like a part of. I don't think.
I thought he was dead.
No, he died. He died July 30th.
He did die.
Really?
I thought he died. Yeah.
Oh. Well, R.I.P. Pee Wee. R.I.P. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, I watched that documentary. It's really good. It's very sad.
What's it called? It's on Max, right?
It's on HBO. Yeah, it's very sad. Basically, like the TLDR, he like couldn't live his real life because he was scared of coming out. And, like, it's just very like. I
remember he got trumped up on like everybody was like he jacked off in a movie theater.
Yeah, which is fucking bullshit. Like they talk about that and like that was I remember back then that was like the biggest deal and people acted like
huge scandal.
Well, apparently like they kind of like set him up and like there was nobody in the theater and like he wasn't jacking off. Like it was like it's just one of those things where.
Do you know how like pedestrian and nice it would just be to hear about some. It's fucking consenting adult, like, jacking off in a movie theater, and that being a scandal.
Who is he hurting? No one. It's not like it was in front of a fucking kindergarten. He's in some fucking porno theater.
He doesn't have 2 pallet loads of Astroglide like they found in Diddy's house.
Exactly. It's a different time.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
also Paul Rubens, criminally underrated in, I know you guys don't like the movie Blow, but I do, and, he's good in that movie. And he's great. He's good in 911.
I do love Mystery Men.
Oh yeah, he's good in that too.
He's great in Mystery Men.
He's great in Blow. I just don't like the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Alec, was your favorite part of this movie the high school basketball?
No, the basketball was terrible. My favorite part was all the. Yeah, hell yeah. Hopefully they pull it out.
Pacers.
My favorite part was the all the 90s Valley Girl.
Oh, it was so great. That was
everything. Even like
I loved it.
Like Hilary Swank buys like this yellow leather jacket that she convinced Buffy not to buy because she said it was ugly, but she bought it because she loved it, and then she let somebody else borrow it. And that girl got turned into a vampire with it, and that's like her biggest concern for like a few minutes of the movie.
Yeah,
the girl got killed in her jacket and is now a vampire, and she can't get her leather jacket back. Like, this movie's
it's so much fun. The Valley Girl stuff really got me, and I loved how it just like everything was just like it was like the as if like every time. I loved it so much. I miss it. Also, I like when like Donald Sutherland was talking about all the slayers that he is like trained. Yeah, basically was like, I forget the word he uses, but he's like, I think he says vacuous. I've never seen a slayer. And then like Buffy's like, hey man, like chill out. But yeah, I don't know anything else before we get into 5 knuckle shuffles. I think we got everything.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty A to B.
Nice, quick A to B movie. No, I can't think of anything I like.
Yeah.
This movie is a blast, and it spun off into one of my favorite TV shows. Like,
watching this, I would have never expected this to, like, go into a like, long-running series. You know what I mean? Like,
how many seasons of Buffy were there?
There are 7 seasons of Buffy and 5 seasons of Angel.
Wow.
So this spawned 12 seasons of lore afterwards.
Holy smokes.
And countless Dark Horse comics.
Yeah. I think they still put out Buffy comics to this day.
All right. I'm not a big fan of most of them.
Yeah. All right. 5 knuckle shuffle time. Alec.
It's a 10.
Nice.
Like, I loved this movie when I was younger. I still love this movie. And it's just a blast. Like, it's even, like, funnier than I remember. Like, I saw it when I was, 12 or 13? Like, it's even funnier than I remember now that I understand some more of what's happening and, like, vampire lore and stuff like that.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, it's a blast. Everybody's good in it. This was, like, the first thing I knew Rutger Hauer from. So every time I see Rutger Hauer, I always think, oh, the guy from Buffy.
Yeah, he's great in this movie, too.
Yeah, it's tremendous. And like the cast is just absolutely dynamite. And they're all fully embraced into the ridiculousness of this movie, which is awesome.
Yeah, everyone got the assignment for this one. Like everyone,
you don't, and you don't get movies like this anymore because if you make something like this now, everybody's winking at the camera the whole time.
Exactly.
See, get it? Get what we did there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I totally agree. It's great.
Gogs.
I'm gonna give this thing an 8. I really enjoyed it. It's funny. It's goofy. Love Donald Sutherland in it. Love Rutger Hauer in it. And just some of the joke. Like I think it. It's like 28 weeks later or years. Keep saying weeks for fuck's sake. It subverted my expectations. I really did not expect it to be this silly, and the silliness was refreshing. And it's well made. It's a fun little jaunt. It's a good movie. TJ.
It's going to be an 8 for me also, dog. I really enjoyed this movie. It was a lot of fun, and I legitimately was laughing at this movie, which I don't laugh at anything because life is pain and, suffering, especially nowadays. But it was a lot of fun, and it moves. Like, there's no, like, soggy middle. Like, this movie is just propulsionary.
Just keeps going.
It's just super quick, and it doesn't, Alec really hit the nail on the head where, if you make this now, I just always compare stuff to how things are now, and everything is so fucking winky and like, aren't we so clever? And this movie is just like dumb and fun and just plays it like dumb and fun. And I miss that. Like, I just miss stuff that's like, yeah, we know this is silly. Like, let's just make something silly and lighthearted. And I enjoyed it a lot. I love the like fucking sub Power Ranger level of like fight choreography. It's really bad, but it adds to its charm. Like the showdown between Rutger Hauer and Buffy is fucking terrible. It's like fighting with your grandpa at like 4th of July after he's gotten too many rum and cokes. Like it's great. Like
The only thing that bothered me about the movie that like is really because I watched the show so much. In the show, when she stabs a vampire or kills a vampire, they turn to dust like immediately.
Kind of like Blade.
And like in the, yeah. But in the movie, like really, I guess they didn't have probably a budget for it. And CGI in the early seasons of Buffy is horrendous, but like,
I can imagine.
They just get stabbed with a wooden stake and then they just fall to the ground, but they make sure they don't shoot the ground in the camera frame anymore.
You never see them. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a good way to get around it.
Yeah, it works. I never really thought about it, to be honest. So like, until you mentioned it, I never was like, oh yeah, why didn't they like dissolve? That's a very popular thing in, vampire lore. But yeah, this movie's a blast. I'm shocked I've never seen it. I had a lot of fun. Christy Swanson, super hot. Big fan of her. Big fan of Hilary Swank. Really liked it a lot. Luke Perry's really good in this too. Like he's just Luke Perrying it up. Like it reminded me of my childhood and remembered how like what a heartthrob he was as a young man. And David Arquette, who I usually can't stand, is perfectly cast as like the fucking goober sidekick to Luke Perry. Also, the part where, I mean, they kind of ripped off the Lost Boys, but the part where like David Arquette is floating outside of Luke Perry's like hotel window. He's like, come on, man, let me in. I'm hungry. He's like, you on something? He's like, no, man. He's like, you're floating.
And I love that he's just like nonplussed by it.
He's not really bothered by it at
like,
all.
Get out of here, man. Stop floating outside my window.
It's like if one of us turned into a vampire, like Gog's coming, he's like, come on, let me fucking bite you. Like, shut up, dude. Get out of here.
Yeah, he's not very threatening about it.
No, not at all. But yeah, this is a great movie. It's a lot of fun. It's a blast. It's a fun romp. Makes me miss the 90s. I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, so that's Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's my pick, and I almost used Luke Perry, and I was going to pick Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I'm not going to subjugate Alec to another 3-hour movie.
Movie.
I'd love to watch that movie, but no. No, I am picking a slasher film I've been meaning to watch for like 20 fucking years. I'm picking Rutger Hauer's The Hitcher, which is supposed to be like a classic slasher movie.
I've actually seen that.
Oh yeah? Did you like it or is it terrible?
A slasher movie that I've seen that you haven't. That's fine.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Pretty sure they remade it with Sean Bean.
They did, yes. They remade it like, I want to say in like the 2000s. But yeah, I've never seen The Hitcher. I've been wanting to see it for a while. I love Rutger Hauer. We've done a bunch of Rutger Hauer movies on the show. We did like that Juggers movie and did a couple other ones.
Juggers.
Remember that? It was called like Blood of Heroes.
No, it was called Blood of the Heroes.
Yeah. But it was also called like Wrath of the Juggers.
No, it was like Song of the Juggers or something.
Yeah, it was super weird.
Battle Hymn of the Juggers or something.
And that's like, and then Sean found out that's like a real sport that people actually.
Yeah, people do that. Like they like LARP it. Like they make all the weapons out of foam and they play by whatever the rules are.
Yeah, a movie that like I thought 14 people had seen, including us, and apparently it was popular enough to spur an actual sport.
It's like people are Quidditching it. It's fucking wild.
It's very weird. I don't know what that means, but yeah, go ahead. What is Quidditch? Oh, that's like the
Harry Potter game.
Yeah,
like people play Quidditch. They can't fucking fly, but
I thought you had to fly on a broom.
They fucking run around with brooms between their legs like hobby horses.
Jesus Christ, that's embarrassing. How
embarrassing.
Jesus Christ. All right, so The Hitcher next week. I'll put it on the Plex. That's the show.
An hour 37 minutes.
It's an old 80s horror movie. It's got to be quick. It's an hour and 37 minutes. That's perfect. Those movies don't usually overstay their welcome.
Keep it tight.
There was a lot to pick from though, because I almost picked. I kind of wanted to pick. Out's gone.
He's done. He's over it.
I kind of wanted to pick fucking No Country for Old Men, Stephen Root connection. But again, it's very long. I was like, we'll just go with The Hitcher. I've been wanting to watch that for a while, so.
There you go.
All right, Gogs, just you and me now, buddy. I'll see you next